Hi everyone, it's me. We're gonna try something new, and I'm going to watch some stuff Rich and Joy talked about today, and hope all this goes well. Okay, let's get into it.
Hello. Just checking to make sure you guys were able to hear us okay. Joy's getting ready right now. She's over there. Can you hear us okay? Hi, Red Wings. How are you? How's it going today? Good to see you. Hold on. Yeah, yes we
Oh
can.
no.
Hello. Am I good? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Alright, hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Can you hear me?
Yeah, and Paul Weiss said that the plumber video was very funny.
It's not
Joy's idea.
That's not my idea. I was laughing the whole time I was filming it. Made me laugh. I got his whole outfit for him and everything. That was his dad's, I think, the thing, the apron thing. And then I went in the garage and found another thing that was really fun. I was laughing. We did it so many times too only because I wasn't filming it right. Like I didn't have the lights right, and then I didn't, I mean, it was cold that morning. We had the garage open, and he just had nothing on underneath. But it's funny. So like, do it again. I know I have the wrong angle. Do it again. It was really funny. But we had a good time doing that. But anyways, he did a good job fixing that because the toilet was running for a while. Oh, I gotta clean that bathroom. That bathroom's so gross. I hate cleaning bathrooms. It's like my least favorite thing in the world to do.
Okay, I agree with that. I don't like to clean bathrooms either. But she picked out his outfit. He was naked. Nobody needed that. Nobody needed to see that. And she thinks it's hilarious. I guess it's payback for what she has to do, but oh well, let's go.
Oh, just near a toilet. It was crazy because I was bleeding for many years, and I hated that too. But you said
Oh, that's not why I hate it.
But now I think even more so I don't like toilets because of all those years of being. Nothing is dirtier and grosser than a toilet. But anyways, this morning I caved in and got.
So she knows. She knows the bathroom's disgusting, but she still chooses to cook there. Why?
The ladies, sometimes we were trying to have them eat healthier, but they kind of went down the toilet. So I got them hot chocolate today, which, oh my gosh, I may have given them both $1 million today. I was like, that's all it took. I feel bad that they should have been given, but we were trying to have them be a little healthier because Annette had asked, and also a lot of chocolate because they go nuts on the hot chocolate does end up giving you caffeine, and those two go nuts on hot chocolate is why we had stopped getting it because we used to always have them stocked up on hot chocolate. But then we're like, you know what, let's cut back their hot chocolate because what they did is first, this was funny. First they used to go nuts on coffee. Then we cut out the coffee and went to tea. Then they went nuts on tea. And then we cut out the tea, then they went nuts on hot chocolate because they're trying to get their caffeine. You go, oh, you guys are maybe not getting the caffeine. No, it's so much better for both of them. For one thing, Annette goes nuts on caffeine. And Gloria is diabetic, so for her diabetes, she's done so much better without the caffeine. But they really like hot chocolate. So I was at the store and it was kind of jumped out at me and I'm like...
Is Gloria diabetic? Have they ever proven that in any way, or... Because I've never seen Annette go nuts because of caffeine. The most nuts we've ever seen are her old videos. I wonder... I don't know.
And I even got them chocolate milk yesterday too. They love both those things.
She's acting like she's
So
spoiling
not,
them.
but I want them to be consuming, but I don't want to be a control freak. So they went nuts for both those things, and the Nets have so many cups of chocolate milk already. So well. We're just like, oh shit, it's so good. Yeah, protein. So I was like, yeah, but also a lot of cups of chocolate milk with the burgers. whatever. She wants to do that. I really was trying, but it was not. The problem is they don't have a lot to look forward to. And if we take her out, like Annette likes to like meet me at the car, and then like I show her all the, and she takes in all the fun things that I get, you know. And that's always snacky things that are fun, you know what I mean? And so when I was just getting the protein, she'd come to the car, and I'm like, oh, I just have like, you know. So it became, so literally like some days I'll be like, oh, I don't think they already had like with protein, you might still have some left. You don't even have to get anything else, you know what I mean? And so that was just way too boring for them. And it was just, so this morning they were like, they already both had like 2 or 3 cups of hot chocolate today. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna, as much as I want for their health.
She's making it sound like they're just out of control with hot chocolate and the chocolate milk and everything. Like, are you starving them? Like, what are you doing here? You need them to stop eating certain things for your happiness? If they look forward to food, who cares? It's doing nothing to your life. She's nuts.
For them to not consume things like that. And Annette wanted to lose some weight, but it's just overall like their happiness is lower when they're not having their caffeine, or not even necessarily caffeine, the caffeine stuff, but like they're hot thing in the morning, if that makes sense. They really enjoy having like a hot something, and this is the least of the caffeine things, I would say, for hot chocolate, because there's not nearly as much caffeine in chocolate as there is in tea. Even decaf. So decaf still has for tea and coffee. So I'm like, I feel like it's the lesser they use, but there's so much sugar. But it's not like, okay, you go, oh, now they have more sugar. When they had coffee, that meant they also wanted the International Delight Creamer, and Gloria would put 4 teaspoons of sugar. So
why do you care?
Hot chocolate is probably less sugar than what she was doing with her caffeine, and then the problem with Annette on a lot of caffeine, she gets wacky. Someone sent that to me, if you all remember that debacle. But anywho, I've really stepped away from Gloria's kitchen, so y'all be proud of me. I haven't thrown out any food. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not cleaning it either, but I feel like it's not a punishment that I'm not cleaning it. I feel like it's the best for everybody, because I think I'm the only one that was so OCD about it, and Gloria is cleaning way better than she ever used to. So she's kind of learned from my example, which Richard was kind of like, well, maybe she doesn't really know how to clean. Okay. So I kind of showed her for like a year and a half, or almost 2 years now, how to clean, and so now she's doing a pretty good job. The only problem is she doesn't really throw out anything. So right now there's like some spaghetti in the fridge that's been hitting close to a week now, I think. Is anyone ever gonna throw out this stuff? So, but I'm like, there's even some like eggs that broke in the fridge. But
Perfect joy.
I'm stepping out of the kitchen. But I do go in there to bring in the Diet Cokes and bring in the food if you know how to say it. It's like this morning I brought in the hot chocolate and stuff. I got them hot chocolate, and I got, oh, Gloria needed spaghetti. So, she was super happy because she wanted spaghetti sauce too. So it was like protein only for Annette. She would have made, yes, I guess she was out of the sauce. So they had on sale like a huge thing of spaghetti sauce. And it was like almost like half price. I forget what it regularly was, but it was like $4 something for this big old thing. So I got her that, and then I got her, I think it was like 2 pounds of like noodles, and then hot chocolate, and then some really good bread today, not the half off bread, and not bread from like the sandwich. Like they had it in the front of the store. It was like some really nice sliced bread, but really nice. So the ladies, that kind of stuff, all the stuff that's like not good, that's what I got today. But
Who's to decide it's not good? Her diet?
Protein, because I've been getting them tons of protein. And so I went and Friday and came and got some of the junk food. Oh, and then I also got them some Ritz crackers. And Annette loves Ritz crackers. So I got her. They had Ritz crackers on sale. I was gonna get her.
Spoiled.
I'm gonna say this out because I was gonna get it. I was so mad. I was gonna get her this huge box of Cheez-Its. Because she loves Cheez-Its. And I was like, oh, she would love this.
Cheez-Its are fire.
And then it said it was on sale. Cheez-Its are expensive these days. In the big boxes, I can only imagine. And so I was like, yay, on sale. And then I looked at fine print at Smith's, and it was like when you buy 3. And I'm like, I'm not buying 3 huge boxes of cheese. It's ridiculous. So I forget it. So I went with the Ritz crackers. Those were, she likes both. She likes Ritz crackers. She really likes Ritz crackers, and she really likes cheese whiz. So both. But I was all excited because that was a big old box. I'm like, what on sale? It was like $14 for this box or something. I think it was like $13.99 for the thing. It was a big box. But then they marked it way down if you buy 3. Oh, good. I know. I was so happy when the ladies were eating more protein, but it's like not the half-off bread and not bread from like the sandwich. Like they had it in the front of the store. It was like some really nice sliced bread, but really nice. So the ladies, that kind of stuff that comes, all the stuff that's like not good, whatever I got today, but they they're loaded up on protein because I've been getting them tons of protein. And so I went and finally came and got some of the junk food. Oh, and then I also got them some Ritz crackers. And that loves Ritz crackers. So I got her. They had Ritz crackers on sale. I was gonna get her. I better not say this loud because I was gonna get it. I was so mad. I was gonna get her this huge box of Cheez-Its because she loves Cheez-Its. And I was like, oh, she would love this. And then it said it was on sale. Cheez-Its are expensive these days. And the big boxes, I can only imagine. And so I was like, yay, on sale. And then I looked at fine print at Smith's, and it was like, when you buy 3. And I'm like, I'm not buying 3 huge boxes of cheese. It's ridiculous. So I forget it. So I went with the Ritz crackers. Those were, she likes both. She likes Ritz crackers. She really likes Ritz crackers, and she really likes on sale. It was like $14 for this box or something. I think it was like $13.99 for the thing. It was a big box. But then they marked it way down if you buy 3. Oh, good. I know. I was so happy when the ladies were eating more protein, but it's like, overall, I think their happiness is not as good, even though like Annette was feeling very euphoric but like, I think they look forward to things like having hot chocolate in the morning and like Gloria making her pancakes and stuff. So it's like, as much as it was better for their health, I think for their overall like daily activities, they were pretty bored. You know what I mean? If they just do beef burgers, you know what I mean? I think that's what happened when we first put them on the beef burgers. It was kind of like disappointing because they really do look forward to like, ooh, what little thing did Joy bring from the store? You know, we used to bring them like cakes and cupcakes and things. I'm trying to not do things like that. But I figured today the crackers and the hot chocolate, that's pretty bad. But, and I got chocolate milk yesterday. They had the chocolate milk was on sale. It wasn't like old, it was just on sale. I always look for things on sale. That's how I kind of choose for them, just because it's kind of like, not that I'm like trying to, you know, buy them cheap stuff. It's more just like, I sometimes don't know what to get, and I'll be like, oh, look, that's fun. That's on sale because they, you know, it helps me choose for them because then it kind of gives like different variety. Otherwise, I'd probably buy consistently the same things. But when I go in the store, I'm like, oh, look, this thing's on sale. So it gives a little variety of different things.
She's really doing something, isn't she? Picking groceries like that. She's really doing something good for them, she thinks.
So like today the Ritz were on sale. They love Ritz crackers. But like if the Cheez-Its had been on sale, we didn't have to buy 3. I was going to get the Cheez-Its instead of the Ritz. But anyway. Oh my goodness. So I always have this issue. You guys are going to be like, this doesn't sound like an issue to most people. But it is an issue for me because when I go shopping, the male cashiers always get crushes on me. And everywhere I go, and it makes me not want to go to that store because they're not like out of line, but it's like obvious, you know. I get the sense of like, then it makes me uncomfortable because I kind of like to not notice, and that never happens. Oh, boo-hoo. No, but seriously, like it can be annoying sometimes because I just sometimes just want to be like, can I just be invisible? But always like, oh, you're back again. And then literally
people being kind.
It was like, oh, I was just thinking about you.
These people really, really, Rich and Joy both think kindness and having manners and just being overall friendly means people are in love with them. I guess that makes sense to why they would think I am in love with them because I dislike them. I guess it makes sense.
Because someone wanted to throw out the tops of the carrots, and they wanted me. I was thinking about you and your buddy. I'm like, oh no, you're thinking about me when I'm not in the store. This is not good. But anyways, I was like, but the
you
good
told
thing
him that. Of course you'd think
like
about it.
They keep in stock the things I want because that store is keeping in stock bunny tops because they were cutting the tops off the carrots. And then he knew that I liked the tops, so now they moved all the tops of the carrots. And then they keep in stock my 3-packs. So I'm like, good. So that's a bonus. But the other stores don't. You know, and I went to the other store the other day, and it was like the quality of the meat was terrible. I'm like, well, better go back to one store. The guy knows what I like. He's only buy 2 things this guy. I buy carrots with the big old bushel on them. Casper likes the top of the carrots, and then I get the beef from that store. Everything else is too expensive in that store. But they had the beef on sale right now, so that was good. But we decided to start going to Sprouts because even though
Casper likes the tops of the carrots, or that's all you will give him? I think you're supposed to give him different greens, Joy. Naughty.
Walmart was cheaper, we were not feeling as good. So we found that, like for me, I was eating 3 pounds from Walmart and still not feeling very satisfied and feeling just kind of like sluggish. And now I went to 2 pounds on Sprouts and I feel way more energy, much better. So I know you're like, oh, we haven't felt good lately. Well, that's the other thing. I had my period and I had this rash and stuff. Every day. So it's still kind of flaring up a little bit on my eyes. Kind of irritating. They're sending me another cream in the mail because they only had one in stock when I was at the VA. And they said, we'll just mail it to you or you can come back. And I didn't feel like going back there because it's pretty far. So they said it'll come in 2 days to your house. So that might help. I have to put that cream on too. But what was I gonna say? Everyone's doing. Oh, Annette's in a really good mood. She's doing fabulous.
Good.
Oh, I had a lot of fun. It was really cool the other day. I think it was like 2 days ago. I got to meet Heidi Ho on here on one of those where Richard does the 2 window things, and I really enjoyed that. And it made me realize that there's people out there that actually love me, and that I was like kind of concentrating on the haters.
I thought everyone's in love with you.
People that support us, and that means we have over 200. We have 257,000 subscribers. I think it was just said today.
Wow.
I was in here like, I'm like what? But it's pretty exciting. But sometimes we concentrate only on the haters, and that's not right because there's a lot of people that are really cool, and I'm sorry about that. So thank you everybody that has been supportive of us, and I'm sorry about all of these fights that we've had, to be honest. Sometimes now it's kind of like I feel so childish and stupid that we all were fighting, bickering, wish we all could just get along now. Thank you. I really enjoyed meeting you, Heidi Ho. That was awesome. I love your bandanas. I'm seriously jealous of all your different styles. You got great ones. I really need to do that because I feel like they look better than these things, but I'm not good at tying.
I'm not good at tying.
But these, the only thing I like of these headbands, you can adjust the sides, because otherwise, usually headbands, can't get fit right, even when you kind of squeeze them. But that's what's nice about the bandana, you can really cinch it down. Anyways, Heidi had all these cool bandanas. She said she inspired me. And that really inspired me. I was like, oh, I'm being such an asshole yelling at everybody. And there's people out there that are really nice. And I felt bad, so it made me realize I need to focus
she
on
has
the
a
nice
heart.
people and not the negative people. Richard has a tendency to tell me just, because I'm someone that I don't like to have people showering me with compliments. I'm like, oh, so he doesn't read me a ton of the nice stuff because I just am I don't know, it starts to weird me out. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's almost I almost weirdly the insults, I don't know, must resonate more with me with the compliments.
Insults.
I'm
Maybe it's because you're negative.
Like me, and so he sometimes doesn't read those ones, but then I'm like, I need to focus more on these ones because that will make you feel better. If you're just reading the negative stuff, then it's not good. And so there's way more positive, honestly, than negative when we really started to kind of dissect it.
No way.
And when I meet people, I'm always like, oh, I feel bad for some of the things I've said because I was attacking the haters, but indirectly I attacked the people that love me on our channel, and so I'm sorry for that. And I didn't mean to do that. I have a tendency to lash out because I don't know. I get scared when I get close to people, because they usually, you know, bad things happen, you know, and people hurt your feelings, whatever. So I have a tendency to like just say forget it and say F you to everybody, you know, kind of thing, and that doesn't work out so well. Richard's always like, I'm very antisocial, extremely antisocial. Like I've always been too. It's bad. I don't want to be like, oh.
Wasn't she just saying the other day that like she's so good at talking to people? That's why she's good at her job. She can make a conversation out of nothing, and she can go on and on and on for her job. They're doing it on purpose. It's gotta be. Gotta be.
All by myself. But I'm happy with like one other person. I'm good. That's why it was always fine with me and Richard. I was like, Richard, I'm good. We didn't need any other friends or anything. Once in a while we would have friends, but very rarely. And it was usually just the two of us, and that was cool with it. Now it's the four of us, and that's cool. Just like bringing any other people.
I just pooped.
And it's always hard for me, but it's good too, you know. Crystal's coming to visit soon, so we're going to go see her on the ship. That'll be fun. And it was fun meeting Heidi Ho. And I appreciate all of you guys on here. And Hudat just sent us some amazing stuff. Thank you, Hudat. Loved the goodies. And that's using the hair products and the deodorants and stuff. And same with Gloria. They're both sharing them. And then Gloria, I like that little thing for her back. She said, well, Gloria loves to have awesome posture. I wish I had as good posture as Gloria.
That's good.
And then all day, we're spreading all those all around the house in the sage. So thank you.
Sage?
That was really, really thoughtful. Everyone loves their shirts too. Richard's already got his dirty. I'm already washing his. He's already worn his. Got a stain on it. It's already in the hamper. They stay in there stuff around here.
So funny.
But anywho, we love that. And thank you everybody that has supported our channel. It really means a lot to us. And I know that we've yelled at a lot of people.
What about the bad moms?
Paula's heading out to work now.
Oh, thank you, Paula.
So she has to go save some lives.
Yes. Paula has very good advice. I still actually listen to Paula about the seltzer water. Every once in a blue moon, I get one and I'm like, it's not good.
It doesn't work. You see the difference?
That's nice stuff. Like I like. It makes me burp too. I'm like, why am I doing this?
Hey, I really like your T-shirt today.
Oh, thank you. I got this when I was in New York at Target. I went to Target in New York. I even go to Target when I'm in New York. Can't go to Walmart when you're in Minnesota.
Yellow, it's all good.
They have them in Long Island. We did go to Walmart when we first got to New York, and we bought their beef. We bought like a bunch because we were living in Manhattan, and we had a rental car for like 1 or 2 days. And we took a drive to Long Island so I could see where my mom had gone to high school. I don't know where her house was because I couldn't get in contact with any of her family at that time.
Yeah.
P.S.
says she's glad that you're starting to realize how much support you actually have out there. I mean, P.S. Do you notice the difference in her? I mean, you can see how support affects a person, and just by talking to Heidi Ho, can you see the difference in how she's streaming and in her mood and whatnot?
Yeah, it made me feel a lot better. And it's hard because we've kind of like tried to like step out several times in social media and been attacked several times. So it makes it shocking, right? We knew that was gonna happen. So it kind of, it's not that people were like, oh, you're being deceitful. It was just, we didn't want like people to just want nothing to do with the net because of my job. You know what I mean? We really did want you guys to like Annette and stuff. And we hoped at first that it would be more about Annette. But then she didn't really want to blog as much as we thought that she wanted to in the beginning. You know, in the beginning she really liked it, but then she got more and more tired of it. And then once, you know, people called the authorities, that really set both Gloria and her off. So the channel became more about us. But originally it wasn't about Annette anyways, it was first about us. But then we made it about Annette just because we thought it'd be cool. We thought it'd be cool for her.
No, I don't believe it for a second. You made it, you guys tried putting Annette up there. It hit, and you guys took off with it. And then you were lying and lying and lying about what you did for a living. This story, it's not making sense.
To have an outlet. We thought you guys would really like her because she's interesting and funny.
Well, I actually thought about this a long time ago when we first started doing videos.
That's what we made a website for it. It's called, and that's as.
But even before that, way before all of that, I came out here and took an early video. I hope I can find it. But basically just got an interview. And I was like, and then we would post stuff on Twitter once in a while with her. But
yeah, when we first got here, we said, Annette, we want to make you a website because she used to just.
I am making the weirdest face because I'm listening on a different kind of headphones, and it sounds like he has a splur really bad. I wonder if that's. I've never heard that before. That is really weird.
Sit at her computer and just say funny things all day. She doesn't do that nearly as much because now that she's on her medicine, she doesn't say as much stuff. She used to just be so vocal all day, just saying the funniest, most random, weird stuff all day. So it was pretty entertaining. And she would be looking at her camera, so we put it on her webcam thing. And we made a website for her. We said, what do you want your website to be called? And she said, I want it to be called Annette's. Is it Annette or Annette's? It's whatever she said.
It's Annette's.
Annette. I think it's Annette Asinine. I think it's Annette Asinines. It's exactly what she said. I think it's AnnetteAsinines.com. And we said, that's what you want? We're like, that's hilarious. That's what she said. That's what Annette picked, which we thought was just hilarious. So we.
You guys always think things that aren't funny. It's you think you'd realize other people don't think everything you think is funny, and you'd try to roll it back a bit. But we go there every few weeks, every few days, where you guys are laughing about something you shouldn't be.
Did it exactly the way she said. Do we still have, is it up like where they could see it?
Yeah.
And Essence, is it still exist?
Well, I haven't checked in a while.
Yeah, we still own it, but we don't have it active or whatever. We actually own a lot of websites.
Yes, you do.
We don't have them necessarily like where you can view them right now. If you go, it just says, nothing. But we own the URLs for them. We have a bunch. We used to get them because we thought some of them were so awesomely entertaining.
Oh, I just want to say something. So hey, there's something going on in the chat room.
It does sound like he has a split.
Joy is real. You're real. I'm real. Joy says shit that pisses me off too. So we get it. I get it. And so, but I'm still here and you're still here. So, but yeah, what are you gonna say?
Okay, so I actually was going to talk about female stuff today. I was thinking about that. I was thinking like that was my new thing that I was going to be like, yeah, women, we really need to stick together because you guys, there is a woman running for president, whether you like her or not. And whether you're supporting Trump or not, this is still a time in history that there might become our first female president. You know what I mean? So it's still time. And there was only one other time that this could possibly, and that was Hillary. That didn't happen. But it could happen again. So it's a time that women have to come together, whether you like her or not. It's just women have to be supportive right now. It's just not a time.
Whether you like her or not, you need to vote for her.
You go, oh, I don't like her. I'd rather go. But still, whether you like her as a candidate, you have to like that, like, hey, there's a chance where a woman might become president. So as women, we have to stand together. Whether she does or doesn't, you still have to be like, don't be bashing women when there's the opportunity.
Bashing women? What?
The time, and it might not happen right now. She might not become, but still, it's like there's that opportunity. So it'd be like if it was like before.
So, what she's trying to say is, we cannot speak bad about her if we dislike her. But people, that doesn't make sense, Joy. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It'd be like if we were bashing black people before he ran. That would not be right.
Oh my God, don't say that.
That would be right anytime. Would you know what I mean? Like there's like, especially like you don't do that. The environment right now is to be like strong women, not women bashing women. You know what I mean? It's being like, hey, women can do anything kind of thing. You know what I mean? Women can become president, at some point. May or may not be this time, maybe. We don't know yet. We'll find out very soon. And so
I have no opinion on Kamala, but I think she's forgetting that there can be good women and there can be bad women, like everything else in the world. And she's just grouping things together. But that's kind of a Joy thing to do. I think.
It's not the time for women to be, hating on each other. You need to like unite and be like, hey, that's cool. As a woman, that's cool. That's cool. And it could be the first time. I mean, that should be, like I said, whether you want Kamala or.
Oh no! It froze.
Or not. doesn't change the fact that this could be a historic time coming, for women. So, and we had a rental car.
That because you were going to mention that. And Yellow, hey man, look, you don't got to apologize. Look, Joy is real. You're real. I'm real. Joy says shit that pisses me off too, and so we get it. I get it, and so but I'm still here and you're still here. So, but yeah, what are you gonna say?
Okay, so I actually was going to talk about female stuff today. I was thinking about that. I was thinking like that was my new thing, that I was going to be like, yeah, women, we really need to stick together because you guys, that should be, like I said, whether you want Kamala or not doesn't change the fact that this could be a historic time coming, for women. So, and whether it happens or not this time, it's still like we're getting closer and closer to it happening because this is now the second female candidate, you know what I mean, that got this close, you know. So, so that's a big deal, you know what I mean? And so I think women really should be unifying right now. And like
we need to unify around Joy.
It's just the fact that this is a rare time. There's only one other time that we're getting to the end of the election and it could be a woman. Does that make sense? Other times there was women that ran, but then they didn't make it to the end, you know.
Thanks, Joy.
And you go, well, she didn't, some people, oh, she didn't make it, she stepped in, but she is already the female vice president, so that's a very big accomplishment already. So that's very cool. And I think, like I said, whether you like her or not, you really shouldn't, as women, bash other women anytime. But especially when you have women representing, you know, like trying to represent women, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know, to be honest, I don't know which way is going to be best for the country, so we'll all decide pretty soon. But I do think it's exciting that it could potentially be a woman, because I just think that's exciting. I think I think there shouldn't ever be any, like, where it can't be a certain gender or a certain race, you know, for things like this. So that's very cool that America's finally kind of getting on board with other countries, because there's other countries that have female presidents and females and males of every race and stuff. America's been very much like very white male for a very long time on a lot of things. So I think that's good of us that we're progressing. Like I said, no matter what way it goes, the fact that they did have her step into the slot and not try to like pick someone else, like, you know, I feel like it's very progressive of America that we're trying to go for a woman again, you know what I mean? And not just be like, oh, that's not gonna happen, we better put a male candidate in. So I think this is a big time for America. So whether, like I said, whether she wins or not, she's already made a new thing. She's already the first female vice president, and then like said she's gonna be the second candidate ever to be that far as a female. So that's cool. And
real cool.
If you're a Trump supporter, that's
does this
fine
end
too, but
soon?
You still shouldn't be bashing women. So it does. I think it's just. I think we just need to realize people are. You can't be saying one gender is less than the other gender, or a race less than another race in this day and age.
Joy.
Not you ever should have.
We needed that lesson from you.
Acceptable. So things that were acceptable in society when we were.
This is coming from the woman who's never met me and told me that my vagine stinks like stinky fishes because I disagree with her. Okay.
Younger, even before our time, are not acceptable now. And certain things, you know, you have to be accepting of everybody, which is the way it should have always been.
Should have.
Because your race or gender doesn't determine who you are. It's ridiculous. You get to decide who you are by every day of your life. You decide who you are and who you want to be. And no one can tell you that. You have to decide for yourself. And so I think the more younger gens can see, like I think a lot of the movies, someone's coming on my shirt, the princesses, I guess it's a Target, but I know they're making a lot of the new movies with people of different races for the lead characters so that the children can relate. Whereas, I'm a white girl, so I often related to a lot of the Disney characters, but I could see how some other people did not. So they're trying to make, where like the kids don't have to just look at one image of what someone looks like. And I know people will get mad at me because I've commented on the fast stuff. So here's the deal. I completely understand why anybody is struggling with their weight. 100%. That is why I am so restricted.
Yeah, I bet you do understand, but you're still willing to kick them. Okay, Joy, let's hear it.
With my with the way we eat, because it is so hard, because food is so addictive and sugar is so addictive and caffeine is so addictive that it is not your fault at all if you are overweight. What we were saying, people were attacking us for saying we had addictions, and we were saying no, we've actually overcome our addictions, whereas most people attacking us, they're still in their addictions. But in no way am I judging anybody that is in an addiction.
Does this just end up being them taking back everything they said the previous week? Great.
Because addictions are incredibly hard to get over. And without Richard, I wouldn't be over any addiction. And even if I wasn't with Richard now, I still don't think I'd be over addiction, because I'd be like,
Okay, one more thing. But you're telling people, you're guessing people's addictions and then trying to make fun of them for it. You're not apologizing for that. You're apologizing for something that didn't even occur. Okay, Joy.
What's the point? You know what I mean? But he keeps me balanced. And it's very hard to not be in an addiction if you're alone. And I understand that. Because you're like, what's the point? Like, because not being in an addiction, it means health. And if you don't have anyone that you care about, you usually don't care about your own health. So that's, for me, I didn't care when I was alone, because I'm like, I don't care if I die.
And she lives with 2 single women who she nitpicks every single thing they do. And so she's aware.
It's my mentality most of the time. But as soon as now I have people that rely on me, then my health matters. Because if I'm sick, they suffer, especially in my job. So I don't really get days off per se, once in a blue moon, like I just had, but very, very rarely, and usually I've had to go no matter what was going on. Very, very rarely, and usually I've had to go no matter what was going on. Luckily, right now this is not the case, because I worked so hard the last few weeks, so I can take a day or two off and deal with this rash and my lady time. That's the next days. You don't always get off on your lady time. Yeah. Anywho, so.
Oh, that was gross, so.
People have a very wrong perception of our life because they've seen a lot of movies and so have I. But it's not anything like seeing the movies, and it's very different. And we don't live some wild, crazy life. We kind of have at times, but for very small portions of the 12 years we've been together. So the times that we talk about that are the craziest, we're smaller portions. It's like 2 years total. So like our year in Manhattan and our year in Panama were insane. And then our 2 months being homeless and our 3 months in the cave. So what is that? Less than 3 years of our 12 years together were pretty crazy. But the rest have been pretty freaking normal. So me and Richard used to be the squarest people doing this job. Like, we were completely sober. We didn't even smoke weed. And we thought was sober, but still sugar and caffeine. But we like only worked like from like 8 a.m. to like 10 p.m. And then we went to bed, and that was it. And I was in the middle, like, at that time, it's like, oh, no, 11, no. I never went out at night or anything. And
No, you jump for every single text message, every call, every email. There's no way you guys were making enough money to ignore people trying to get a hold of you. I highly doubt it.
that for many years, and then we realized that was just silly. So most of the business is at night, but I'm not a night person. So then it started being that I went to sleep earlier and then we go out at night more. But yeah, for a long time, I was like, oh, 11, no, it's much too late for me. And people were like, and then when I was recovering from my flu, I had like a 2-hour window. I was available. I was like so many hours. I can work from 4 to 6 p.m. 4 to 6 p.m. Yeah, that's it. Okay. It was like previous hours over. So they're like, all right. But it was kind of crazy. So we've always been very rigid. Like I'm very picky where we see and everything. So people have this weird ideas, and we work as we need, but we also keep it within reason because I'm a person and I want to enjoy life and not have it be all about work. And it's been about work before, and now we've reset that. And the reason why we went homeless is because I didn't feel like working because I had worked so hard in Manhattan. It was insane. So in order for us to live in Manhattan, I had to at least work 3 times a day. So every single day, I never had a day off for a year. And I was dying.
Yellow's taking off for the day. Thank you, Yellow. Have a great day.
Bye, Yellow.
Yellow, 11. We really appreciate it.
They're all kind of tripping out how you can talk to me, do a live stream, and listen to music in your ear at the same time.
That's because when I was in the Air Force, I used to listen to 5 different radios, like channels, like they would all be on at the same time, and you had to decipher between which ones were important. And you'd have to hear the important things and tune out the other ones. And so I have the ability to listen to which thing I want to. So I can tune out what's in my ear and listen to him, or I can tune him out and listen to what's in my ear according to what I want to do. So when he comes in, I'll stop listening, but right now I'm listening to my song. And as far as listening to music and talking, well, that's super easy. I don't know if you guys not do that. But that's also when I was in the Air Force, I was an instructor, so I had to listen to the radios and instruct. And then my students couldn't hear it. When you're new, you can't hear it. Like, they don't hear anything. Even though it's on, they don't hear anything. So I had to tell them everything that's being heard. So it's probably why I left. Also, you know what also probably had most of my hair there for that? Okay, I'll take it to that. But listen, I forgot what probably messed up this ear too, besides being on the flight line every time I flew. Okay, so you only have to fly 2 times a month to stay current for my job. Well, actually for any job, you're a flyer. But when you're an instructor, okay, you can't fly every single day unless you're on a trip. Like when you go, like when we went to Ecuador, we could fly every single day. But when you're home, they make you have what they call mission planning in between. So you fly, you mission plan, you fly, mission. Most people are pretty comfortable only flying like twice a month, which I love flying. So I was like, sign me up as many times. But when you're an instructor, they have you fly pretty much every other day. Because you are helping the people get current that either are brand new or the people that didn't fly 2 times a month, which seems crazy that you can't get in 2 flights a month. But some people somehow can't. So people go inactive all the time, and then you have to bring them back to status. They have to fly with you to get back to status. So anyways, when you're an instructor, you stand behind your student. We had I had 2 sets of headsets in the time I was in the Air Force. We started with those big green ones. Forget what they're called, but they're green, and they have the black, and they have the thing that comes down. And they're really heavy duty. They're really nice. They're these huge pads. They're green on the outside with black pads. You see them like helicopter pilots always have them on. We had those when I first got in the Air Force. But then switched to bows, which were really nice, which were $2,500 a piece. These are the nice ones that you don't sign the thing there. I know these are $2,500, I'm not ruining them kind of thing. You have to return them when you go out. But those ones had an issue with shocking your ear. If you didn't have it on both sides, which you don't want it on both sides because you have to be able to listen to your students, so you can only have it on one ear. That's why I'm used to doing this. And I was standing on carpet, so I would get shocked, like an insane, like static electricity shock. But this was like a zap to the ear, because you'd be like walking on the carpet, standing, behind the student who's sitting, and then it's like zap, and then like nonstop static electricity to the ear. But because you were standing on carpet, and it created this friction. It's crazy. I was like, this sucks with these Bose headsets. I liked my green ones better, but they discontinued those ones, and I made everyone get the Bose. But anyways, so I went in the Air Force. Because my parents were both in the Army, but they told me never to go into the military. That's a funny story. So they said that the Army was fine, but don't ever go into the military. Don't go to the military. I do not recommend it. They both went in for 3 years because it was 3 years when they were. And now it's like 4 years. I think it's a minimum for anyone except for maybe Coast Guard or one of them might be less, but most of them are 4 years, or more, 4 or 6. And but it used to be like 2 and 3 year enlistments, I think, back in the day. But my parents are both in the Army. That's where they met. They did not like Army. And my mom became it's called a non-compliant, where she didn't want to shoot guns. So the way my mom died later is very questionable too, because while she was in the military, she decided she didn't want to ever shoot guns. She had shot guns, and then she said, I don't want to be someone that's going to be part of the war. So they put her in like a desk job, and then she didn't ever want to shoot a gun again. And
Okay.
but so my mom was very kind of anti-military once her and my dad got out. But 9/11 happened when I was a junior in high school. And my mom is from Long Island, New York, North Babylon, Long Island. And my mom is the most obsessed person I'd ever heard in my whole life about New York City. Like, I heard about New York City more than I've heard about anything in my life.
That makes sense.
As a kid. And my mom never lost her New
Her
York
mom was
accent.
obsessed with New York.
That was like,
Makes sense.
she treasured that. And her whole family, same way, their accents are so thick. Like, they just stepped off the subway in New York. And they hadn't been there. My mom hadn't been in New York since she was 19. And then she died when she was 46 and never went back. But she talked as if she had just... And no one in New York really talks that way anymore. There's a handful of people, not nearly as many as there used to be. But my grandpa was a bus driver for MTA in New York City for 30 years, too. And he was super funny. He was like Rodney Dangerfield funny. Like, everyone loved him. But he passed when I was 10. And that kind of first upset my mom, was her dad dying. And I feel kind of... Because my mom was depressed when I was 5.
I was thinking about the other grandparents of Joyce. But that, it's obviously not the ones that are like, that Joy says are mean and like greedy. If you know, you know. Like, doesn't matter.
And she wanted to kill herself and me. We were going to both do it together. But I guess she always said God came over her and she decided not to do it. So she didn't really get depressed again until kind of like when my grandpa died. That wasn't great for her. It was when I was 10, but she did okay with that. But then 9/11 really, really upset my mom. And I was in high school, and I wasn't really like enjoying high school. I was a cheerleader, and I was in everything. I thought like the more things you get involved in, the more I would like high school, and that just didn't seem to happen. I was in cheerleading, track, yearbook, student council. I was like in the honor classes, whatever, you know. I was in any sort of club thing you could get in, you know, and those things you volunteer for, you know, whatever. All kinds of stuff. I was assistant to the athletic director, assistant to the attendance counselor. I was like TA, you know, she was assistants all the time. My mom worked at the school. I was like super involved in the school, but still just didn't really like high school. And then 9/11 happened, and my mom was devastated. And I remember we went to school, and so my mom was watching the news, which she always did in the morning, which I hate the news. That's probably why, because my mom had it on every day, and it's so negative, and I'm just always not.
I watch these people too much at this point. Didn't she just say she loves the news anchors and knows them all by name? You can't make this up.
Like the news. But I remember I was doing my hair, and my mom started screaming from the living room, and I came in there, and the first plane had just gone in the first tower, and she was like freaking out because I'd never been to New York, and she's just like, oh, you don't understand. I was freaking out because I didn't even know what that meant. I like the World Trade Center. I didn't know anything about it. And then as we were watching, we saw the second one because we all thought it was an accident until the second plane came. So for those of you that are young, you don't know when we watched it live, we didn't know the second plane was coming. So we thought just an accidental plane had gone into the tower. And so it was really shocking when a second plane went into the tower. And I saw it live, and my mom was just devastated. And so I remember we went to school, and my school was a brand new school. It's kind of the issue with me going to that school. So I wanted to go to my sister's school because this is what happened. My sister went to a school called Ponderosa. It was all in Northern California. I lived in Placerville, actually.
There's an old TV show where the farm, I think, or the property the old people live on is called the Ponderosa. It might be called Ponderosa. I don't remember, but it's like super, super, super old.
Technically, El Dorado is where we lived.
That's what that reminds me
in
of.
Placerville. It's all kind of the same thing. I've lived in all those areas. I've lived in Placerville. I've lived in Shingle Springs. I've lived in El Dorado. I've lived in Camino. I've lived in Pollock Pines. All those areas. There you go. But anyways, and Cameron Park and all this, Aurora Hills. I've lived in all the areas within this little area that I'm from. But it's mainly called Placerville. Okay, and it's in between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe. So, my sister went to this high school called Ponderosa, which I'd always wanted to go to, and she was going to be a senior and I was going to be a freshman. And they were building a school where my mom had just bought a house. We'd never owned a house, and my mom bought the tiniest house she could ever buy. I was like, really? I was so mad when she first bought it. She's like, it's the only thing we can afford. I'm like, yeah, but we could rent bigger houses, so I don't understand what about. It's just a small house. She was mad at me, like, and I'm like, I know, but we were renting houses that we could like not be in a Cracker Jack sized house because it was a 2-bedroom and me and my sister had to share a room and it was so darn small. And my mom was obsessed with buying a house. That was like all she ever wanted to do was just buy it, which I didn't understand. I was like, does it make a difference if you own it? Really, especially since I was 46, it made no difference. But to her it did. But I remember being very frustrated because our house was so small. Anyways, so it was right next to where they were building the brand new high school, which also made me mad because I was like, my mom really wanted me to go to this new high school. And I'm like, so you pick a house that was literally like, I could throw a pebble at the new high school and it's the smallest house ever. And she's like, oh, you can still go to Sarah's school. They'll let you, because they were going to make me go to that school because, you know, that's where we were in. But they were going to let me go to my sister's school because my sister was there. She's like, oh, you can go there. I'll just drive you there. Let me know this elaborate thing about it. And I'm like, fine. So I still want to go to my sister's school because I thought it'd be awesome. I want to be a freshman when I have a senior sister. How cool could that be? In the new school, what they were going to do is just have freshman and sophomore the first year, which is so late. Just freshman, sophomore, no upperclassmen. So they were going to take a class from all the other schools, people from all the other schools for the sophomore class, and then freshmen were just going to count from the junior highs, and which made it terrible. And then we just kept growing up, so it was like we never had all four until, you know, we got there. So it was like the next year we had freshman, sophomore, junior, you know what I mean? So it was like they did it that way. So the one class that was above me got to be the upper class the entire time they were in high school, which gave them super attitude, and they were super annoying. When I'm like, they were sophomore and they thought they were seniors kind of thing. And then when they were juniors, they thought they were seniors. And then they were seniors, they thought they were seniors. So they were a really annoying class and they were the one above me. But I ended up graduating with that class because I was supposed to graduate in 2003. I graduated in 2002. But anyway, so the whole time I'm in high school, I'm annoyed.
Isn't that how everybody kind of feels about their upperclassmen? I don't know.
With this other class, but the reason why I ended up having to go to this school, so I used to go visit my dad during the summer. I would spend most of my summer at my dad's because I wouldn't see him during the year. He lived in Southern California. He lived in Lakewood, which is near Long Beach, and we lived in Northern California. So I'd go for the summer to see my dad, and of course my mom didn't tell me the right date for cheerleading practice tryouts.
Oh, I've heard this story.
And so I missed the cheerleading tryouts for my sister's school. And she's like, oh, but guess what? You have the cheerleading tryouts for the new school if you want to be a cheerleader. So if you want to go to Sarah's school, you can go, but you can't be a cheerleader. But if you want to go to the new school and they have cheerleading tryouts, you can still be a cheerleader because I want to be a cheerleader. I was like, God, you were just setting me up to go to this new school. And so, of course, that's what happened. I went and I made it, which I was shocked because my friend, who's way better than me, didn't make it. And she helped me because, like, we're learning the routine together because you go for a couple of days learning stuff and then you try out. She didn't make it. She's like, was mad at me for life on that one. I ended up being at her wedding and everything. She's still mad at me that she didn't make cheerleading in high school. I should have never helped you. So I made the team soon. But anyways, my friend used to. I'd known her since like kindergarten. She still, I think, is mad about that to this day. The last time I saw her, last time I talked to her a couple of years ago, she was like, man, I had just married cheerleading. But anyways, so I was in all these things in high school, but for me, it didn't really, I never really fit in. No one even really knew me, even though they knew me but didn't know me. They'd be like, oh, who are you again? Oh, yeah, one of the cheerleaders. Oh, yeah. What's your name? Like, no one knew my name or anything. It was weird. Even when I left, they didn't know I'd left. It was weird. So anyways, what happened is 9/11 happens. That happens September 11, right? 2001. We go to my sister comes to visit. She was living in San Diego. And she was like telling me that how fun San Diego was and stuff. And I was talking to her about high school and I only needed 2 classes left to graduate. And I was like, I'm really just tired of high school. And she's like, why don't you just come to San Diego? And then you can just finish 2 classes like in a charter program. And then you can just like start college early. And I was like, that's a great idea. I'm going to totally do that. And then I had a job. I was working at this coffee shop, which I love my job. But I was like, you know, that'd be better. And
is she going to breathe? maybe stop, take a drink, take a sip. I'd say chew gum or eat, but no. That I know won't happen.
You know, I still like wasn't totally thinking military yet. I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of high school. And because what happened too is after 9/11, like I said, we watched. So went to a new school, and so they had TVs in the classrooms, which was new, and so they had us watch CNN for like 2 weeks after the whole event, and it really disturbed everybody, and it was really you just didn't really, I don't know, high school was different after that, so I really didn't want to be like a kid in high school anymore. I kind of wanted to like grow up fast after like just this big event.
So how
that
she
happened,
joined
like
the military? Okay.
So my sister's like, why don't you come and you can basically like grow up, go to college or anything. So I was like, that's a great idea. So as I've now quit my job, it's all over a weekend. I quit my job. I don't go back to school. I just like, because it was Christmas break. I don't tell anyone. I don't even tell any of my friends. I just, all right, I'm just gonna go. I'm like, Mom, if anyone asks, I'm over, nice there. And we're driving to San Diego, and the sister's like, as I think about it, I don't really think I can just have you come live with me. Because I don't know how am I going to afford that? She starts like thinking all this stuff. She's just like a stoner. She probably was stoned when she said for me to come. And so I'm like, oh, you're just now thinking this now as we're on the way after I've like left my whole life. And she's like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. So I'm just going to drop you off at Dad's. And then you can just live with Dad and share. And you just finish high school there, and that'll work out better. And I'm like, I don't want to live with Dad and share. Yeah, but, it'd be best because I'm in college. I can't really, like, provide for you. How am I going to take you to school or anything? I don't know. You got to go live with Dad and share. And I'm like, okay. So she drops me at my dad and shares. And now I have to live with my dad and stepmom, who my stepmom, I didn't know till I lived with her that she didn't like me. So my stepmom became my stepmom because my dad had an affair with her. So my mom hated her. But we tried to accept her, because my dad said accept her or you won't have a relationship with me. So we tried to accept her. So I always kind of thought she kind of liked me. I didn't really think anything of it until I lived there. And then I was like, oh, she hates me. And it was pretty clear. The main reason is because my dad really likes me.
That makes things make a lot of sense when you think of like how Joy is. That she had to live with somebody who really, 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 really didn't like her. If that's even true.
Me and her son, who's autistic, really, really likes me. So she's basically just jealous of my relationship with her son and my dad. So she just likes me not to be there because they both prefer me. Because she's mean. But anyways, and I've always been nice with my dad and my brother. And they go, oh, you're nice. No, I actually used to be like the nicest. I never was mean ever. I've gotten hardened as I've gotten older. But I used to be like the sweetest little girl. And so for her to be so mean to me was really uncalled for because I was really like a very sweet kid. And she was really, really went out of her way to be really cruel to me. So much.
If you've ever like watched any of the older Jedi Joy and no. What is Richard Productions? Jedi Rich Productions, like that other channel. Anyway, if you ever watched any of those, she was very different when she was younger. Or any of their old content. She was really different. It's almost, I don't know when there was a switch, but she completely changed. She completely changes at one point.
That I was like, I don't want to live here anymore.
Jedi Rich Productions.
And so I was like, I need to get out of here soon. And so I was thinking college, but I really wanted to be a pilot my whole life because I loved the movie Top Gun and I wanted to be a fighter pilot. So I was talking to my stepmom and I was like, well, I really want to go to college and become a fighter pilot. And she's like, well, if you want to be a fighter pilot, you need to go in the military. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. So she's like, why don't you go in the Air Force? I'll take you to the recruiter. And I was like, okay. So we go, and I'm still in high school. Like, I'm finishing the last 2 classes. And I must be 7. I just turned 17. Yeah, because I just turned 17.
Okay, I couldn't take it anymore, so I skipped the rest of that story. Hope I didn't miss anything. And we're going to start here.
invited to Richard's parties all the time because Richard's best friend had a crush on me. Yeah, Richard still does say Richard's best friend had the biggest
Not
crush on
that
me. He used to
different.
invite me all the time to Richard's parties. But I had a boyfriend, so I would tell my boyfriend, "Do you want to go next door?" And he's like, "No, I don't want to go," because he didn't want to go either, because Richard was too cool for everybody, you know. So that made my boyfriend jealous, and then so we would never go over there. But Richard would have these monster parties because he owned the store below. So then they would have like they would sometimes even have like work parties up there and everything. It was really cool. And they were very like Richard would always give all the staff like these really nice bottles of champagne for holidays and stuff, and tip us really well, so it was super nice. And then they would also throw huge parties in the lobby for the residents from his store, because they serve like alcohol and stuff. So he would bring over like a bunch of alcohol and a bunch of hors d'oeuvres and things from his little market. He had a store called Tallers. So I had known Richard since 2009 from working there, but I only worked there for like 6 months, I think, maybe 6 months to a year, somewhere around there. And in the time working there, I was recruited by these 2 doctors to help them open a knee injection clinic, because one of the doctors lived at the condo building, and they're like, "We need you to be our only staff for this clinic we're going to open. We want you to just do everything." And so they had me research everything. I helped them pick out everything, and like everything, including like the systems, that they use for in processing the patients, their management systems, their database systems, their patient files, that's all done electronically now. So I had to pick out all the different systems. We had one called Nimble and stuff, and so I learned all of these different programs, and then they had the ones that are the contact management ones, we have to do those. And all these things, they had me on all these things, and then I had to research like which products they needed, which machines, and even like I had to order their X-ray machines. So what they would do is give me their black credit cards, and then I would just have to get their approval of which things they wanted, but I would pick out the items. It was pretty cool. And then they would give some input off, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, good, that." And so even like the X-ray machine I picked out, and then they didn't know how to use it, so my dad's an X-ray tech, so I brought my dad to show him how to use it and everything, and I got the whole clinic running. It was a big deal. I worked there for about 2 years total with the starting, but then I was just overwhelmed. They worked me way too hard. I was their biller, I was their front desk, I input all of the patient files, I was the only person you talked to. They had the main number forwarded to my cell phone whenever I wasn't in the office. Like I was their only staff. I did everything except for inject the patients, and it just got overwhelming. And I finally was like, I just can't do it anymore, guys. And so they had me write a 200-page manual when I quit for what I did every day. And it was really cool. It's called Reflex. It still exists. They have like 5 clinics. I feel very proud of that. It's called Reflex Knee Clinics. It's in Portland, Oregon, on their main one, Tigard. And the 2 doctors, one is named Russ Riggs, and the other is Greg Carroll. Greg Carroll now is like the main. He like oversees all of like urgent cares and stuff.
Her and Rich name drop a lot. Not that I care, but it's strange.
So they were really amazing doctors, and they loved me. But I just can't take it because it was so much pressure. It was awesome. It was a great opportunity, and I really enjoyed it. But I was like, you guys are just overwhelming me. I mean, because they really just expected me to just carry their entire business for them. And so that was right before. So that was in, I want to say 2010 or 11. I can't remember. And then what happened is, I had been in real estate, and I was like, I'm going to go back to real estate because I just got overwhelmed with these doctors. And I ran back into some realtors that I knew, and they were like, "We want you to come work for us at our office." And so I went to work for this other office called Connor Real Estate. And that's when me and Richard met up again, so I hadn't seen him in many years. And I had on and off been dating his neighbor, but, we had not really seriously dated for many years. And so I'd occasionally...
Am I hearing that Joy was a homie hopper? Probably not, but that'd be funny.
See Richard, but this one time, and he had been engaged during that time that he'd had those parties and stuff, so I never thought anything about interacting with Richard. But so I was working at this real estate office, and I had seen Richard one time because it was funny. I was hanging out with the guy who was his neighbor, his name's Brian, and the girl across from us had a crush. Everyone, I think she was dating the guy, but I think she liked Richard and Brian, but she didn't like me. She wanted to be like the only girl and get me out of the scenario. So she kept trying to take me away, take Brian away from me, but then she didn't expect me to go with Richard. It was this funny, weird thing going on. But anyway, so she was trying to get her friend to like Richard this one time, because we all kind of intermingled, because it was almost like a dorm room, because it was a lot of young people living in this condo building. We were all on the same floors, on the second floor. This was great. And so she said, "Oh, let's go over to Richard's place." Well, we were at her place. It was like a bunch of us, and I wanted to show off Richard to this girl Molly. And when we went over there, she was like showing off Richard's place, and then had him play the piano. And I'd never seen Richard play, and he played Piano Man, and I was really impressed.
Oh,
this
the
was
Piano Man story. I don't think I've heard this one.
Early on in 2012, probably like in January. And then I didn't see him again for a while. And then I had gone out because I was a drinker, and so I always hung out in that area near there, but I was rarely ever hanging out with his neighbor anymore, because doing pretty on. And I had gone to a bar with a friend who I only was friends with bartenders, cocktail waitresses, because I lived in the bars. And so I'd gone out the night before with one of the bartenders, a female, and we were out all night, and then we stayed up almost all night, and then we had to go the next morning. I went with her to where she opened at a bar called Bullpen. And so I went with her, and it's like 6 a.m., and I'm so hungover, and I feel so sick, and I'm having a Bloody Mary and food, and I was bulimic at the time, so I was planning on just throwing up and just going home and just being done with the day, you know what I mean, just sleeping. And then I see Rich and that other girl's boyfriend, his name's Tony. So the girl who doesn't like me, who tried to show her friend Rich, he's there with that girl's boyfriend, and it took something like, I don't really want to say hi because I knew that girl didn't like me, so I didn't really want to say hi to her boyfriend. So it wasn't really about Rich, but I was like, and I also didn't feel like being friendly because I'm usually antisocial. So I like literally ignored them for like 30 minutes, and we're the only 3 people in the whole bar, and we're at the bar. So I'm kind of turning away from them, and then finally I'm like, hey Rich, hey Tony, and then like, oh, Tony, we didn't see you. I was like, yeah, because I've been making myself not seen. And then after that, we just hung out that entire day. Like, we just bar crawled because Tony was mad because his girlfriend Claire was gallivanting all night with other dudes. And he had begged Richard to go to the bar with him, and Richard normally didn't go to bars. I was a bar hag, not Richard. And Richard's not really much of a drinker. He don't really like alcohol that much. I was the drinker. And I got him to become a drinker, but it's not his vice that he likes that much. And so
But it's the vice.
Tony had to drag his arm to go out that day. But we ended up, all 3 of us, just bar crawled all day. And we got wasted. But then we ended up that night, like, it wasn't even night. It was probably was like noon, because this was like 6 a.m. It was probably like noon. We now are at Tony's place, and we're all just passed out like on the couch because he has a sectional, and there's nothing sexual going on in any of the 3 of us. But we just drank all day. So Tony's on one part, I'm on one part, and Richard's on the other part. And now finally his girlfriend comes in because she's been out all night with boys, and she flips out when she sees the 3 of us on the couch. She loses it. So she's like, it's me, not Richard, and Tony. But she lost him. She saw me because she thought she was going to be the only one, going out on town. She couldn't believe that her boyfriend had gone out without her, kind of thing. So it was pretty funny. But she flipped out. And she like really flipped out. I mean, she went like nuts and then kicked me and Rich out of the house. And Rich was like wandering the streets like.
How nuts, Joy? As nuts as you go. That nuts.
I mean, he lived right. We were like, we don't want to go back to the house yet. So we were just walking. I remember we were just walking. We were just like laughing about the whole thing. What the hell just happened? Because she like went wacko on us, and we were all just like rudely awakened because we had like passed out drunk, and we were like, what? This woman just like going crazy ape shit on us, and I'm like, huh? So then we get out of their place, and anyways, instead of going down the hall to Richard's, we ended up walking around just laughing, and then we parted our ways, and I think he must have got my phone number. I don't remember, but we were exchanging messages for a minute, and then someone took my phone. I was telling this story, so because I was always in weird debacle because I was a drunk. So I was at another bar called Kingston, and this was probably a couple days later, and Richard now had my number, and we've been texting and stuff, and this guy named Robert, who I barely knew, but he had been another person that lived in this building, so I knew him from working there. And he was a gay guy, so it was nothing like, me and him were not anything romantic, and he was like a total party dude, like a wacko party dude. Like when I lived there, he used to like spill stuff on the elevators and not tell me, so people would come down after and be like, there's glass in the elevator. I'd be like, oh, Robert, like he was always a pain in the ass guy, so it was not someone that I was like super fond of, but I'm nice to people. And so he was sitting at the bar next to me, and I was like, hey, Robert, and he's like, hey,
I don't believe it. I don't believe you're nice.
can I use your phone? I need to call my dealer. And I'm like, okay, I figured he'll bring the phone back. I didn't know that meant he was going to be gone. So, okay, I thought I could trust the guy. He takes my phone and never comes back. Like, he goes outside, and I'm like, wait, and I'm like, I'm sitting at the bar, I'm like, I go outside, I'm like, wait, and I'm like, oh, wait, he's gone. So then I knew where he lived. So I went and knocked on his door 4 days. 4 days of knocking on this guy's door before he finally answered the door. And he had my phone the whole time. And I was having to go to work. I was working at real estate opposite, and like it was really bad to not have a phone. They're trying to contact me, and I like, get my phone. This guy has my phone, and I like nobody even let people know I don't have a phone because I have no home phone or nothing. I just have one phone, And Richard's blown up my phone. And I find out later, And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I finally get it like 4 days later from this guy, and he finally answers the door after I'm like pounding on his door. And he's like, what's the problem? What's the big deal? I keep pounding on the door. I'm like, dude, Robert, you took my phone like 4 days ago. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And like tosses the phone out. So you fucking asshole. But anyway, so Richard had thought that like I wasn't interested anymore. So then, but I get my phone and we worked that out. But so then he wants to ask me out on a date, and that girl Claire tells him no. She said, don't ask Joy out. And Tony's like, what's the big deal? It's not like he's gonna marry her. But, so he ended up asking me out on a date, contrary to what Claire wanted. And he asked me to go to this place called Andina, which was a really nice restaurant. And I'd never really been to like a really nice restaurant on a date. I'd only been to like bars for dates, like you gotta like have bar food because I was drunk, so that worked for me. So Richard took me, and I remember like he's really good at like choosing like wines with like your food and stuff. And he was very. We had little appetizers and stuff, the little tapas or whatever, and we had a great time. We had a lot of fun. And then I think we must have had. Oh yeah, we went to a blues show. It was like our second date, and then I think after that we pretty much just hung out after that. And from then on, then we didn't go on any more dates. I pretty much just like moved in because Gloria was already living in this place, and I was living in Vancouver, but it was a pain in the neck for me to drive, and especially since we drank so much that it made more sense for me to always just stay at Richard's place. So I basically brought up my bag and just camped on out at Richard's ever since we kind of got together because it really made no sense. A couple times when we got a fight, I went back to Vancouver, but every time then when we moved to Panama, I had to go get all my stuff from Vancouver. We put it in storage. We put his stuff in storage, and we went and got our stuff from storage in like 2014. We had our stuff in storage for like 2 years in Portland, and we had 2 storages. We had mine in Vancouver and his in Portland. Like 2 years.
I always wonder if they like rob storage units because they've always had like some weird things like that. But probably I don't know. I've just thought it.
years up there before we even did anything with it. And then we went and got it in 2014. Then we brought it here, and then we had it here. We had our storage unit up until like 2 years ago here in Bay. So even every time we were homeless, we still had a storage unit with tons of stuff. So if like we ever needed money, we just went and sold stuff from our storage unit. And even we would use the facilities of the storage unit too. They had like bathrooms and stuff. It'd be great. We'd hang out there sometimes. It was like living in it, but you could like go there for a second, find some clothes and stuff because we had tons of stuff in it. So when we were homeless, it wasn't really homeless. It was I just didn't feel like working for a second. Do you want to pay the bills or do you want to go homeless? I don't pay the bills enough because I would kind of burnt out. So I just kind of threw in the towel for a minute, and it wasn't gonna last long. It was like 2 months. So I was done with that. And then, all right. So anyways, the only reason why we're here is because that happened. Because otherwise we would have never moved in here. Because Gloria's house was so uninhabitable that even when we were homeless, we didn't want to live here. We went back homeless. We went and lived with Mark Weiner. We went back to hotels and stuff. And we were gonna get a weekly.
Wait a minute. So, we've seen the photos, and Gloria's house seemed okay before. Like, when she was, like, crying and saying, it's cold, and Mom, let us come back home. The house looked okay then. So, I don't think that's true, Joy.
But then,
You're
we'll
lying.
No, I was with Gloria, because Gloria was fine with the way it was, even though she was about to be evicted. She was like, fine, I just living in La La Land, but Annette was really suffering and screaming. And so much pain, her teeth were rotting out of her head, and her feet hurt so bad. She could only walk on her toes because her feet hurt so bad. And she was just screaming pain, and then cuss every 2 seconds, and just like breaking everything, and slamming the doors, and it was constant, and all day, all night long. We never got any sleep. And then there was mice running all over the house, and the bed bugs were like in the gazillions. I think we finally got rid of them. I haven't had a bite in a long time. We're going. But yeah, it was really crazy. So I would have never, ever, ever even set foot in this house, except for that the universe aligned it so much that for like one day we showed up, kind of thing. Or we were one day willing, like literally like one day we were willing, because we were almost like 2 months before we even considered calling Gloria. We didn't even, because we knew like her. And then finally one day, it was because our phone had died and everything. We couldn't get our phone charged. And we were just like, we honestly just needed to charge our phone. We thought we were just going to come say hi for a minute. And then when we got here, we thought we were going to get a shower, charge the phone, and then we were going to leave. But when we saw the condition of the house, we were just like they need our help, like more than we need their help. You know what I mean? Like she came to get us, like we don't need her help, we need to help them. So it kind of kicked us into gear. But at first it was so difficult because Gloria was really mean and really obstinate to any change. And what that meant is she was like beating Annette every day and screaming at Annette every day and spending all the money at the casino every time she got a check, because right away we had no control of her finances. So, and she lies. So we didn't even know how much she made. So you guys are like, why? You guys didn't know, like, how you guys were setting up. She never told us how much she made. We've never known until we literally started to look. She's always lied about any of the funds coming in and stuff. And there used to be more funds coming in that no longer do, because she actually used to own a lot more things. They had the house that paid rent. They had a timeshare that paid rent. They had a boat that they sold. They had tons of stuff, the storage units and other things. And they sold a lot of things along the way. She sold that could have been given her kind of residual money, especially that she shouldn't have sold the house, because that could have been rent every month. But anyway, so she should have been fine. But since she sold all of her assets, by the time we got here, when we finally looked at her finances, like, oh, you don't even have enough to pay your bills. But you're not even trying. You're just going to the casino with what you do have. So, but she always lied to us. So until we really had to dissect her account, to be honest with you, she would give us access to her account, but we didn't go in there because we wanted to, but we didn't know that we needed to. So it wasn't like, it's like this weird thing, like she lied, but then would have let us go in. So that's how we finally found out when she's like, it's my account. And so then we went in, I'm like, great, you haven't paid your mortgage in like years. You haven't, no.
We all know this, that there's gotta be more to the story, because they showed up with no car. They now have a Mercedes. Like, I don't think it's been that long since they're saying they moved in and started helping Annette. So how did all this just happen? There's more to it. We know that.
Says right here, you have not logged into U.S. Bank, your bank account, which is tied to your mortgage. You have not paid, and they're about to foreclose on your house. And you're saying you've been paying, and it says right here you have not.
The timeline always changes.
That she still right now has a hard time acknowledging that she didn't pay it. Like, it's like, yes, I did. And we're like, no, the bank will say contrary. That's why they're sending you eviction notices, foreclosure notices. So it was getting crazy. And then what was happening is there were so many liens, so those were starting to really catch up too. Because what happens, first the bank has to want to foreclose before the liens come into play. But by the time,
I have a theory. So if the liens are all true, what if it was Rich doing it behind Gloria's back?
They were already wanting to foreclose, and then there's like 5 to 6 liens on the house. It's like, oh, geez, this woman's not. So, and then they wanted to get her out of this community. They were starting to vote to get her in and out of the community. So it was like, if we didn't step in, they were going to be gone for sure. And the problem is they can't rent because maybe now they could with Annette's state, but if we left, Annette would go back to Alicia, so then they can't, because when Annette's not on her meds, you can't be renting because she can get really loud, she can get very aggressive, she can break things, it'd be bad if you were renting a place. For the damage that's happened in this house we haven't seen. That was Annette early on. Not anymore, but if she's off her meds, she goes back to that. And if we're not here, she goes off her meds. So, but anywho, me and Richard, when we first met, I was in real estate, and Richard was working at, he was a manager at the Groceries, which was a restaurant in the Pearl District in Portland, because his dad had just died, and so when his dad died, they closed the businesses. They had a True Value hardware store, they had Tyler's convenience store, and then they had PGO, which is Pellet Grill Outlet.com, was where they sold the Traegers through online, you could pick them up at their store, or you could order them online, because
I was in the hardware store and waiting in line, and I look over and I see a Traeger, and it's following me everywhere because I never noticed the names of stuff. And I see it, and I'm like, ah!
They had a store in Westland, the True Value hardware store, so you could pick up the pellets at the hardware store, pellet grills at the Traegers hardware store, or you could have them sent to you. So they were making millions of dollars through the online business more than in person. Because before his dad died, his dad's business was just a small little hardware store. But Richard's the one that turned it into the Traeger sales. That's what made it into the millions through the hardware store. Because just selling the nuts and bolts didn't make them that much money. So when me and Richard went to Panama, he sold the website that was for the Traegers. And that was for $75,000 to see the website. But when I met him, he was working as a manager at a restaurant, which seemed so below him after I'd seen him before, and I knew him as being an owner. And I just didn't like him in that position, but he was going to advance because the guy who owned the shop wanted him to already take over his resort in, I think it was Wisconsin or Wyoming was where we were going to go. He wanted Richard to take over his whole business because Richard, is a very successful person. He's not someone just to keep as a manager. But I got a wild hair one night when we were drinking that we should go to Panama because that's where Richard's mother's from, and Richard had said that his dad had wanted him to go. And I was like, why don't we just go then, And we were just going to go for a couple weeks, and then it turned into a year. So when we were in Panama is when we decided to do the job because we didn't speak the language. And it just made sense, and it was fully legal there. And we tried to get regular jobs, and we realized without being fluent in Spanish, it was ridiculous to think we could get any job. So it was pretty much the only job that I didn't have to speak fluent Spanish. So we kind of just got used to it. And then when we came back to Vegas, I was going to become a cocktailer. I got hired at Wynn and the Grand. But I just decided I didn't want to do any of those jobs after they hired me. I went to the interview and I got hired, and I was like, I don't think I want to do this. I talked to Richard, and we just kind of wanted to do what we were already doing. And then I thought I was going to save up to become a pilot again because I still want to be a pilot. I remember my whole Air Force thing. And we saved a bunch of money. And then I decided instead to get over my bulimia. Because when I still wanted to be a pilot, I was still bulimic. And I still think I'm going to be a pilot and all this stuff crazy because I was dying. I was literally dying, thinking I had all these ambitions, these dreams, but my health was deteriorating. I couldn't even walk up the stairs anymore. So instead, we spent 2 years getting me better. And I worked so intermittently that it was very difficult to make money. So our savings just kept going down and down and down and down. But I was so thankful that we had it, because without it, I couldn't have got better. Because any other job, I could have never got better. Because I seriously spent about anywhere from probably about at least 12 hours a day in bed for about 2 years. So I would only go out for a very small amount of time would I be out of bed. It was very rare.
Read somewhere, I can't quote it or anything, about how bad bulimia, anorexia, and orthorexia, the eating disorder where you only eat one kind of food or all non-organic or anything like that, and how they're really bad about, they're not good for holding a social life. So eating disorders are really bad for that, obviously, okay? But I was thinking about that, and is that why they like to push that on people? Because they are so antisocial? I don't know, I was just thinking about it, but I read it's very common for them to just not want to be social at all, people with eating disorders. It's weird, but yeah.
I went through a very, very bad recovery early on because I destroyed my digestive system. So it was extremely painful and hard to recover. That was in 2015. And so then we just kind of decided to continue doing this, and then COVID happened. And COVID made this insanely hard, the pandemic, because it shut down everything. And we just didn't know what we were gonna do, and it was crazy. I don't even honestly know how we made it. Like, it was just guys, and we made it through somehow. I worked my ass off. I primarily just had to see people that weren't visiting, locals, which I'd never done before. And that's why we went to New York, because that was the only way we could survive. Because there wasn't enough business in Vegas. So the only way we could survive was living in New York City. Because since there was no tourists.
That's when they started their OnlyFans, though. Not there. I think it's only Joy. I'm not going to go. Not happening. But from what I've heard, that's when she started her OnlyFans. So she's probably making money off that still. So they can't... Like, how are they ending up so bad? They do have money coming in.
There's enough people that live there for us to survive. So that's the only reason why we went to New York. It wasn't just like for fun. It wasn't like, it was the only way we could survive during the pandemic, was to go live in New York City, which was also so difficult. So it was this ridiculous treadmill we were on that I had to work like 3 times a day in order to survive, but it was the only way we could survive. So it was very difficult. So when we got back, that's when I was burnt out, and I was like, I just want to work anymore. And we were home for about a year before I finally was like, I was tired, and I just kind of like stopped going to work. Really, it was like I just would go, and then Richard's like, well, what do you want to do? I'd be like, do you want to go to work, or do you want to just sleep on the street? And I'm like, well, at this point, I don't care, So that's kind of what it came down to. But I knew it wasn't going to be very long. But I really was just like giving up. And so seeing Annette gave us new hope, because we had given up. We didn't have any reason to really live, to really try. Me and Richard were just tired. Like, there was nothing. Like, it was just, we weren't gonna have kids, and we had no. It was just the two of us, just screwing around. Like, just like, what's the point? Why get out of bed? Why do anything? Why not? So.
I wonder if she's like prone to depression. I wonder if she said that. I can't remember. Probably, but I don't remember her saying that.
And that gave us purpose. And now we have so much purpose, because like she needs us all the time. You know what I mean? So it's even more so than if you had a child, because a child would probably usually eventually not need you as much. But Annette, she never needs us less. It's always the same amount. She needs us. You know what I mean? And it'll be that way probably forever, unless she miraculously just gets 100% better. But the way she is now, I mean, she'll always need us. So it's good, because it gave us purpose, and it got me and Richard out of any addictions that we had. It got me over my bulimia. People were talking about that last time I was bulimic was January, because February 1st I stopped being bulimic this year. So January was when I was in New York. If you look at some of the things, I'll show my New York things. I was actually pretty unhealthy when I was still in New York. I started to get healthy in New York. I started to switch back to the keto when I was in New York. But I was very unhealthy at the beginning of that trip. I was eating a bunch of junk food in New York and stuff. It was bad. And looking back, I didn't even realize how unhealthy I was until now. Like, I can literally see I'm getting more and more healthy. So even when I'm like, sometimes I don't feel good, that's more, if anything, my body just healing from, I took a lot of damage. And even I had healed for 5 years, and then I did damage again, doing like 2 years of eating poorly again, So now I'm feeling really good. But sometimes before you get fully better, you go through some like hiccups. So that's what I feel like I'm going through right now. But each day I'm feeling much better. But I was feeling really awful at the beginning of the year. I feel like this whole thing was a blessing, because even though you look back and go, well, it maybe would be better if we just never relapsed, but I think in a way we've grown stronger and we've grown more knowledgeable, because it had been so long since we had experienced eating that junk food and stuff and feeling what that felt like, because I had stopped in 2015. So it was good that we kind of now have freshly experienced that. That's because I can totally tell the difference now. And that's why I'm trying to talk to people, is like, not to get on this case, but it's like, you will feel so much better the more protein you eat, and the less sugar and the less caffeine. Like, no matter whether you believe that or not, it is a fact. You will feel better if you eat more protein, less sugar.
Okay, is she saying that for people with a normal diet, or is she only saying that for people with an eating disorder? Because I could understand, like, I don't think that's a broad statement, or she's just not making sense to me when she says that. Because I feel like she's telling everybody, when you eat protein, you're going to feel so amazing and all this stuff. But if you eat a normal diet, I think it's fine. I don't get what she's trying to do with that. It's like how they're going to run the world.
More protein and water.
Brainwash everybody.
Even if it's not animal protein, just more protein you have, the better, no matter what. And when I was bulimic, I pretty much was like on all sugar diet, you know, because that's like all that you consume. You just go for like the sugars. Like my favorite thing is like milkshakes when I'm being bulimic, you know, or cereal or something, you know, granola or something that's
Cereal's
very,
good.
you know, just in and out kind of thing. It's not, and it's that stuff. It's just sugar, sugar, sugar. There's no protein to that. You know? So I really do
Does she not believe in
want
dairy?
people to feel better by things we're saying. I'm not just trying to say like, haha, I'm better than you. And it's like, no, seriously, I've been there and I've almost died due to the things I was eating. And now I feel amazing the majority of the time. Once in a while, I don't feel great, but that's not due to my diet. I hate when people say it's due to my diet. It's like, no, you don't understand. If I was doing any other diet, I'd be feeling so much worse because I'm dealing with like some crazy stuff that happened because I almost died like twice now. The second time I got really sick again because when I'm bulimic, I push it and I get sick and I am extreme with things. So I become extremely sick. And I was on like 96 pounds and it was really bad. So now I feel a million times better. Even when I don't feel good, it's nothing like not feeling good before, if that makes sense. So anyways. I didn't sleep good last night because Richard was like in and out. I think he was just vlog with you guys. I heard you guys talking a lot, and then it was just a lot of noise last night. He's been, he's in his office almost all the time now, but I can hear, even with the door closed, I can hear everything. So I put my headphones on sometimes, but then sometimes my headphones start to hurt, so I take them off. So it's like either drowns out the sound or my head starts to hurt. So it's like you have to choose which thing you're like. Oh man, I need a pumice stone. I have one. Look at I need. Oh, I know. I have that grinder thing.
Okay.
I'm getting the rough feet. Let me get this thing. I'm gonna do this while I'm talking to you guys. Thing we use for a net. I'm getting a rough skin on my feet. Yes.
Not feet. Don't mess with your feet. No.
This thing is awesome. You put it for. Oh yeah, you get the rough spot on your like toes or heels. This thing is awesome. I got some time at the Walgreens.
Oh my god, so gross!
I put dry skin here. I put some of the creams on that we put on Nettie's feet. See if she'll let her do her feet. She only lets us do her feet once in a while. She's funny. It's like like once a month, pretty much. That's his thing. Again.
Joy, you're so gross. Who would do this on camera without being high?
Wearing sandals too much. My ankle still hurts so bad, you guys. Oh dear. It's really black and bruised still. I really messed it up that day at the drop.
So
that?
gross.
This is your first time listening to you, and you're a very sweet soul.
As I grind my feet. Thank you. Look at this. Look at my, thank you, Rebecca. That's my sister's middle name. No, sorry.
Rachel.
I know. I don't know why I said that. That was her best friend's name. Sorry. Her sister's middle name is Rachel. Her best friend's name was Rebecca. So we used to say Rebecca and Rachel all the time. So for a second I thought that, and I was like, I don't know my sister's middle name. That's Rebecca. My sister's middle name is Rachel. Sorry. Richard knows. That's not her middle name. I don't know why I thought that for 5 seconds. But yeah, my sister's best friend's name was Rebecca. Sorry. And my sister's middle name is Rachel. But they used to go like Rachel, Rebecca, Rachel. For some reason, my brain said that. Isn't that weird when you think weird things for a second? Does anyone have brain farts like that?
Just so weird.
Am I the only one that thinks my sister's...
Like how hard? Like they don't like the window's been broken for longer than 2 years. Tell them that.
Oh yeah, the thing is, the reason why the window is... I got put more, I can't hear. The reason why the window's not fixed is because anything out to fix is not things that the ladies like to do. They really don't like anyone in the house. So like, it's going to be a big deal when someone is coming and messing with Annette's window. She's not going to be a fan of that, but we have to do it soon because it's getting cold. But she doesn't like people messing with her stuff. So if we could do it, it'd be great, but we don't know how to do the window. So things like that,
We don't know how to
that
do
require
the
us calling someone to come out. Neither Gorian or Annette really like having, because Annette is, she has this like trust thing. She doesn't really trust people.
Gloria's fine with people. She didn't even look that upset with the police. Gloria likes talking to people. Stop lying. Joy.
So strangers coming
She was
in really
fine.
unsettles her. That's why she doesn't like the cops coming
I
in.
understand
and stuff. That
Annette
really
probably
unsettles
doesn't.
her. Yeah, for 4
She
days
didn't mind
she was very
Amanda.
upset by that. So even someone coming, like we've had a handyman come in before, and she really, really just unsettles her. She's getting better. It was way worse when she was more volatile. She would attack the people. So we couldn't
Attack
have
them?
people. Remember that? She would attack them as they came in. She'd be like body checking people. But now she doesn't do that. She
Attack
just
them?
gets very taken back by people. So having someone come in are the projects that get delayed the most around here. So if the window
But
is
time
something
out,
that
time out, time out, time out. I feel like Annette's doing really well with her medications and everything else, and they could just explain it to her. Hey, somebody's gonna stop by. We'd really, they can set up a spot for her to sit in the living room for a while, make her comfortable. But no, that'd be too hard. Too hard.
could have done, it would have been done already. It's not just a money thing, it's more just the fact we have to have someone come do it. That's what
No,
we don't
it's
like.
not. You're a liar.
So,
This
but we're gonna
whole
do it
story
pretty
was
soon because
probably
we're
just
just
a
tired of
lie.
everyone, and it's also getting cold. But honestly, it's
Right.
not
Could
money.
not.
It's the fact that someone has to come and has to stare into her window and disturb her, and that whole thing is she's going to be unsettled by that. But we need to do it because it's getting cold, and so it starts to get colder. Yeah, but you would think, okay, you would think in that like the once things fixed, she doesn't like the process. Like she didn't like us painting her room even though she wants it painted. She didn't like us putting her bed together even though she wanted a new bed. Like she doesn't like the process of things. It's funny. She's very impatient, extremely impatient, and she doesn't like when she's in any way inconvenienced. So she, yeah, if you,
she's doing better.
she always says no to anything. So like, it's anything. So I'm good. No, I'm good. No, I don't want that. No. So she wants you to just leave her alone for the most part. So like going into her room and doing anything, even if it's to fix her room, is very intrusive to her. So we do it, but it's always kind of like, it upsets her for a couple of days while we do something like that. So as much as like makes you guys happy, it upsets her, but long term is better. But it's always like, and when she's in a good mood, we don't feel like upsetting her too. So it's like, so like, but this.
Is she not going on her walks anymore? I don't think I've seen her go on a walk in a while. I don't remember though.
She's going to be happy because I know she wants to fix, but she's also going to be upset that someone is. So hopefully you can get it done like in one day. Yeah, hopefully someone can come and get it done in one day. So, because if they have to keep coming back, it's going to irritate her. Hopefully they can just come and.
Rachel has some clothes for you, some sundresses, and
That would be amazing.
say out loud.
She's.
Rachel.
No, we're back at Rachel's, my sister. Oh, there's a Rachel. I don't know why I said that. It's not the weirdest thing. I have brain fart. My sister's name is Rachel. Sarah Rachel. That would be cool. So Rachel. So there, my sisters. I was just foreshadowing. That's weird. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why for a second. Oh, no, that's not what I was.
Let me just interject real quick. I have two trolls before they
look
get
who
through
it is.
it. I gotta say something. The reason why letting a plumber in or a person to fix the window is gonna be very different than when we didn't have a car and we were all online and someone named Amanda said, I'll stop by and bring you some water when we didn't have any water.
That was a big deal, though. She's the only person we ever let, and it went south.
It went
so
south.
We haven't let anyone else since then.
It went so bad since then. So that was our mistake by letting her in, but we didn't invite her over like.
You guys know that's the
Yeah,
only.
but you screwed that up because you guys turned on her. That didn't go bad for Annette. Like, it's not like Annette's crying and... No. You're making that shit.
Person, and we haven't done that since.
Annette wouldn't mind it.
So see how you're twisting the stuff, Ember? Do you see how you twist everything? You're saying, oh, we won't do the window, but we let Amanda. We didn't invite Amanda over. We were in a desperate situation where we needed some water, and it turned out to be a mistake, by the way, and that's one of the reasons why we said, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this again.
Exactly. So yeah, everyone twists every single thing we say to make it look bad.
No,
When we
you
don't really do anything bad. So you guys just have to try to twist
Jeez.
everything. And it just gets annoying because you just start to look like morons. I mean, because some of the stuff just gets so outlandish.
Maybe it's you.
But I'm starting to wonder if anybody believes the liars anymore. It's starting to feel like no one believes the liars anymore, which is good. Because I knew eventually the truth would
No, you're right. No one believes you, Joy. No one.
come out. You know what
That's
I mean?
who
The
she's
truth will
talking
always
about
set you
herself.
free. And so I knew that people come back around to us. But it's getting kind of ridiculous, the things that they're lying about now, because they're kind of like really grasping for straws now. And I'm starting to feel like they're losing their base, like, of supporters. Because, hey, we got Paula Wise back. She was on the other side for a while. You know, we had a lot of people come on back over. So the only ones that are really staying strong are pretty much our old moderators. Those are the only ones that are like so strong about hate. They're on the hate train for life. And we understand. They were moderators, now they're not moderators. So we hurt their feelings, and we're sorry for that. But shit happens, and we all need to grow up and move on. But, and stop hating on each other. So, but, oh wait, how's it going? Hey, Brad. Anyways, I'm gonna have you, my hand over. I'm gonna put some.
Are we done?
Of that lidocaine on my
Woo! We're done with Joy.
make it look-
Sorry, I don't know
and,
how that's gonna sound.
I need to put that lidocaine. I'll show you guys. I got this great lidocaine.
No, we don't need to see.
My foot just killed me.
Nobody
So
cares.
It still
Please
hurts like
don't.
the dickens. I can't believe how much I twisted it for just skipping. The problem is it's the same injury over and over. This is the foot I broke, and I sprain it about every year almost. Remember, I sprained this one when we were playing the nunchucks. I sprained this one in New York City at the Central Park. I was doing cartwheels and round-offs in Central Park. I sprained it doing nunchucks on the couch. I sprained it Panama after breaking it. I think I sprained it another time, and I just sprained it. All right, yeah, I've sprained it several times. Same thing, because it's not strong because it didn't heal right.
Maybe you should drink more milk and that wouldn't happen. It probably wouldn't help, but still. Maybe if you changed your diet, you wouldn't hurt yourself all the time.
It hurts less sometimes since I just sprained it than it was before I sprained it, though, because of the injury.
Yeah, it was very similar to you. So she was younger. She was very young. She got the kind of hate you were getting, but then also your other friend. Remember, what was her name? August.
August Ames.
Social media made her do the same thing.
Yeah, August Ames.
That'd be nice. It's like, I don't think
Social media made August angry. She hung herself.
Jesus.
did do that.
Yeah, August Ames hung herself. Oh, did you guys about that One Direction guy? Oh my God. Right? The One Direction guy? Yeah. Liam Payne? Did he get pushed? That's my question. I'm wondering if someone pushed him. That seems weird that he jumped.
She's just obsessed with murder.
Have they investigated if he got pushed? That's my question.
You want to know, Melissa Brunel,
Lidocaine.
remember Melissa?
Yeah.
Kind of well, she basically pretty much drunk a lot, but, and pretty much a hater. But anyways, she wants to know, well, why did you jump out of a window 2 stories high? Exactly how high? You want to know about the jumping story?
Oh yeah, that's a long time.
Nobody wants to look at your feet.
Blah, 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 blah. You want to get the whole
I'm not ever gonna tell the whole story about the 2-story window because not even the business, but it was a 4-story.
Never gonna
building.
tell the whole
I
story.
jumped 2 stories because there was a ledge 2 down. It was like a balcony-like thing. It wasn't really a balcony. It was like the roof of something. It was cement. But it was 2 down from where we were, and then
But why not tell the real story? I want to hear it.
that was
Oh,
and it was 2
because
down from there.
Melissa's
so when I
probably
got to
right.
that part, I realized I had to still go down 2 more. So I had to jump from there down to the ground.
Let you do this, and then we'll do lunch, okay?
It's kind of something I don't want to get into all the details, but the main reason is because I thought it would be better to be not in the room than when they came in the room.
Like someone's wife, maybe? Or husband, whatever. Why am I even thinking like that? Just someone. I wonder if it dealt with work, what she did.
They were knocking on the door because we were going to be kicked out of a hotel room.
Oh.
So I thought if I wasn't in the room, it would be better. So I jumped out the window. Then when they came to the room, I wasn't in the room. But I broke my...
Maybe this is like the rock candy time. I don't remember where they were with the rock candy story, but...
And I didn't need to jump out the window. I just thought I'd be smarter because I was drunk. Rich was like, you didn't need to jump out the window. That wasn't that big a deal. And he talked to Richard, but I got scared. Oh, fuck this. I'm jumping out the window. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. It was very funny. You call the police on yourself? That's exactly what I'm trying.
Ow. Call the police on yourself? So they called the police on themselves?
Hey! Come on, sit in there.
I'm gonna fix
Every
my
once
chair.
in a
I don't know
while,
how I
girl.
want to sit.
How are you, Nettie?
How are you?
Here, let's just say hi real quick. Let's go this way. You don't have to answer the question. You just
All right.
say hi. I'll read them off to you.
Yeah, all right.
Cool. How are you?
Good.
I don't really need this. Let me see if I can skip it. I hope I didn't miss anything. Sorry if I did. I'll figure it out. I'll learn how to do it better.
Richard, we got to get a day picked out to meet and smoke some weed. And I bought, oh, that'd be wonderful. Oh, you know what? That'd be really great. We have to do that. You and I need to coordinate it because, you know, Joy is just kind of like, wait, Haven, is this Haven or is this the new Haven? Looks horrible as always, Rich. What looks horrible? Me? Well, you know, that's to be expected. You should have seen, you know, if you think this place looks bad, you should have seen the house in Oregon. They left there, and I was up there, and I was taking care of the stuff up there. I had to spend $135,000. My money. 135,000 clams.
The money your dad gave you or left you? Or you made a whole bunch more money? I don't know, Rich. Fishy, fishy.
Count it. Into the house in Oregon. That was my money. So $35,000 for this house was not that big a deal. So yeah, we got in this house, but their house was so, it was such a mess. I mean, you could not imagine. $135,000 worth. I'm a different Haven, but I've spoken with the OG Haven too. Cool, hi Haven. Welcome here. Welcome here. The other house was worse. We had to fix it because I had to sell it. I mean,
that's what I wanted to talk about. If they keep making excuses and they don't want to fix the house, maybe... I just feel like it's another big excuse to just like take all the money and give it to themselves. That's how I feel.
They'd only been here for...
That's how I feel.
You know, this has only been for 10 years. They'd been in the other house for 30 years. I mean, it needed so much, well, $135,000 worth of work. This place, I would guess, probably about $50,000. What was the house in Oregon? That was their main house. That's where I grew up. Well, I got there when I was 12 years old, and that was the house that was supposed to go to Annette. And what happened was, when my dad died, well, it was right around the mortgage scandal. You guys remember the mortgage scandal? That was when the banks stopped loaning money to banks to people, so no loans were going on. So the whole housing market took a big breather for like a year or so. It was like really bad because you couldn't get a loan because the mortgages were all needed to be corrected. So they pulled back a lot of mortgages and they weren't issuing new mortgages, it was just really hard to get a loan back then. I managed to get one, but it was very, very difficult. So
Oh yeah.
the house in
He
Oregon
did.
was where we grew up. I mean, that was our main house. That was kind of where my dad put all his money. I mean, there was only a $250,000 loan on the house, and it's worth well over $1 million. In fact, I think today, PSI Dory looked it up, or someone looked it up, and I think just the last sold for like $1.5 million or something like that. So, and he only owed $250,000 on it, and that was the house up there. But it needed $135,000 worth of work. So I put in $135,000. He had a $250,000 loan. So between that put it about $400,000 in. Well, we wanted to sell the house for like $1 million, 1.1 back then. The market said no way. So she lowered it down to like 750, 600, and then finally settled on something like a 5.25. When in fact, maybe it was 6.25. I don't remember exactly the numbers. I wasn't even there at the closing. It wasn't even my deal. I just helped to get it set up so that it could be for sale, to get the realtor. But once the realtor was involved, that was between Gloria and the realtor. I didn't spend much, I just kind of left it at that. So Gloria wanted the cash. I mean, she wanted the money. I mean, she could have sold this house down here, but she wanted to be close to her sisters. And
Who
but
wouldn't
really
want to
we
be
found out
by
later
their
she wanted to be close
family?
to the gambling. So because they don't have gambling in Oregon, so she let
Is
the
that
house go up
true?
in Oregon and kept this house, and took
That's
the
lovely.
cash and was just slowly kind of going through it over the last 10 years, and burned through it. I had no idea that she was burning through it. I mean, I would have thought, like, I mean, somebody was saying here, if I was there, I'd fix the window, I'd do that. Yeah, if you were here, you probably would have saved some of that money too, and not have spent it all. So it's like there's a lot of little things that, it's like for us, there's aesthetics,
You
and
can
things that are
gamble.
necessities, and there's also there's also our time frame. Everything that we have to do, like if you want a $500 project, Joy has to go do something for that, okay? And she's not like this open ATM. I mean, it's like, dude, we got to make sure the bills and everything are stable. Extra stuff is like,
But who helped them when they needed money? I'm pretty sure it was Gloria. You were borrowing from her like an ATM.
I mean, we can live or die without it. Okay, cool. What's your question about Annette, Julie? Which house? Oh. Oh yeah. Annette, come here. They have a question. So, like, do you understand like this whole concept of YouTube and the internet?
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what's going on?
Yeah.
Right?
YouTube, yeah.
I mean, you know that there are people out there, right?
Yeah.
And what are they doing?
You guys
doesn't need to
are
do
speaking.
this.
Right to you, chat to you.
Yeah.
And they're watching you, right?
Yeah.
And
Live.
Live.
Yeah.
Right now, right?
Mhm.
And
That's
do you
not
like
good
that?
for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that answer your question? I thought it'd be.
I don't think that was necessary. Like, he could have answered what he thought instead of being like, do you know they're watching you? That can't be good for anybody.
That's
What a
the-
jerk.
Hey guys, listen, I got a link up here. If you guys, does anybody want to talk directly to me?
No,
You can
no
talk
one.
directly to me if you'd like.
No one.
Here, I'll send you the link right now.
No one wants to talk to you, Rich.
And we'll try it for the first time here.
Does anyone come on? I don't remember seeing this.
They're gonna say that I made her read the script, and she's. I know. Yeah, they'll say anything, Bob. Good thing. High five, Bob. I don't even bring it up anymore because it just kind of gets me riled up. But yeah, and then the worst part is, after all the lies and all the twisted truths and everything that they say, they turn around and call us the liars, which I guess is the tactic. I mean, that's the thing. They're trying to smear us, and they're trying to make us look bad by saying untruthful things about us, or just taking things and taking them out of context, or putting them in a weird light. You know, just like, I mean,
I don't know if he's ever said it about me, like in a sentence, but I don't take things out of context. They're exactly how you said them. That's exactly how you say most everything. I never cut it and chop it up.
we're real people, and so we say how we feel. So how we feel today, like I might be super mad about something today, and as soon as I express it, I might be kind of like, you know what, that doesn't really bother me as much as it did yesterday. And as a human, I'm allowed to change my feelings on things. But you guys are watching 10 years of videos, looking at how I felt here, and saying, oh, that's so different than you feel now. Yeah, forgive me for changing.
I don't think it's the things we're trying to call you out on are stories that you're lying about, still pushing the wrong things, not how you felt about something. No. That's not what it's about. Or things you did that you deny happened. No, Rich, don't stretch the truth.
Forgive me for having different realizations. For it's like that's what a man does. That's what we do to grow up. That's what we do to make ourselves better. We're constantly growing, constantly changing, and that's why I document this stuff. I know the stuff I was putting up in the past was like, man, it wasn't stuff. It's like you put up stuff for recovery. You're like, why would you post that? Because I want to get better. It's like it's like I see myself. It's out there.
But that's not what you were putting up.
I'm going to get better. And sure enough, 8 years later, here I am, better than I was back then.
No. You're acting the exact same. You're acting the same. When you're freaking out and sitting in New York in front of, like, I think it was a bread shop or a candy shop or something, and you're, like, wigging out being like, Gloria works 2 jobs, and then saying Gloria hasn't worked. No, you still do stuff like that. You're nuts.
Everyone's going back and looking at those videos, just as I had planned. You're looking at the videos when I was worse.
I planned all this,
now I'm now. And that was the whole idea. But
who'd have known?
Of course, why would you want to watch a video of me when I was bad? I mean, like, doing it the other way would be impossible. Like, we had to get better first, and now you can watch the videos. And they're out there all over the internet. And I posted them for you. And plus, all the people out there will clip everything.
Feel like you're covering your tracks.
By the way, is this as choppy for you as it is for me? I'm just curious.
It's always choppy. It's not good.
Is it super choppy for you guys? Did it stop chopping out? Change the nasty air filter. That's a great idea. You want to do that right now? Which one? Which air filter?
The one behind your head.
Yes, for hi Nicole, how are you? (206 to 186 pounds. Wow. All meat, just less. Not all meat, just less consumption. Time is the thing people are losing. Weight have to become. Yeah, exactly. That sounds great. So if you guys want to do a, hey Richard, write this down. Okay, I'll write it down. What are we writing down now? What's up, Rachel?
Write it down.
Yeah, that dude's an asshole. You're never doing that. Probably a kid, hopefully. You think they're kids. But then you find out that they're adults. It just blows your mind. Like old people. Like, you're like, what the heck? Okay.
That was
I've
funny.
got it now.
And then they're old people.
Hey, Sandy, what's up? Oh, really? Which one? Oh. This guy. Is that better? Okay. I really do think you guys are doing great things for her. I've just always wondered that. What did you wonder? What was your question?
Why is he
back
looking
up
at
here.
the
I was kind of
screen
in my
like
own
that?
head here for a minute.
Why is he looking at the screen like that? I don't know if you could hear it, but he's like looking weirdly up. Maybe, yeah, because he has the bunch of screens. Maybe it's that. I don't know. Sorry.
What was you saying? I'm going back to the things. I love her big smile. I know, me too. I love that smile. She's going to your face. Annette is the cutest. Annette! Everyone loves you.
Well, duh.
She is precious. Okay, I'll write this down. I got that. Write it down. Write this down. Rachel. Who's making fun of her? Okay, great. Okay, got. Oh yeah. Sorry, we got No, I'm not gonna ask her that, McKen. That's ridiculous. Okay, I'm catching up. Just email Rich yourself. Yeah, you could do it that way. It wouldn't let me email him. Why not? That's weird. What's your email? Hi. Hi now. I never said that. I asked if this would make her paranoid earlier, and she answered. Oh, right. You were the one that asked the question. I forgot who asked the question. I knew someone asked the question about how she felt about it, and yeah, of course, man. It's like, dude, it's like we have fun here, man. The idea is to have fun. I don't know if you got that about me. One of the big complaints from the men and the women is that all I do is have fun all day. That's all I want to do, and I want everybody else to have fun
Richie.
too. And the women come in here is like, that's no man. You're more like Peter Pan than you are than a longshoreman. I'm like, yeah, I know, man. It's like
no one
I
says
wanted
that.
to
You
go
say
on
that.
meeting,
No
but they
one
wouldn't
else.
let me. They kicked me out. They made me work at the restaurant instead. So I had to serve them their waffles. But I wanted to be a longshoreman. They just didn't want me. So anyway, since they wouldn't let me be a longshoreman, I had to find something else to do. But whatever I wanted to do, I just thought to myself, shit, if you have fun, no matter what you do, then they could put you in prison and you would never be unhappy. And guess what? My fear was not going to jail. I knew, because I'd been, I was kind of a little bit of a, what do you call it? The unruly kid in school, I was a little bit, in my childhood, I was a little less disciplined, so I was a little more mouthy. So I spent a lot of time in detention. But I never minded it, man. I could just close my eyes, I just sit there. I would just talk to all sorts of shit in my head. I had a huge imagination. So I was never afraid of that. The thing I was afraid of was being broke and having no money, and being homeless. That was my biggest fear. Man, I thought shit, torture me, stick me, crucify me, but shit, don't let me be broke. That just seems worse because I can handle being crucified because man, I'm crucified. What am I gonna do? I'm done. I can mentally be okay with that. But shit, having money and then being broke is what the fuck?
Why does it always have to come back to God? Why are you even talking about being crucified? It might have been in chat, but that's weird, Rich.
That just seemed like the worst thing because you'd have to live with yourself.
Normal.
It's please crucify me instead. So yeah, my mindset was a little bit messed up, and I'm giving you guys that because that's part of my growth. That's part of how I've changed. I used to be this person that thought that money was it, money was that, and that's all it mattered. And now it's kind of adjusted going to kind of different things. I preferred detention. It was more peaceful. I only had it once, but I wasn't mad. Yeah. Tell you what, I don't prefer either one of those things now at all. I don't prefer crucifixion or prison. But however, somebody was asking, why is it that we laugh at death? Why is it that Joy and I laugh when people die? Why do we find humor?
Yeah, please. What is that?
Okay, if you lose a family member, that's a different story. We're not. We wouldn't laugh at that. We understand that. But there are some situations where if a person dies, it can be, why? Because eventually we're all going to die. So in the case where someone was asking why we were laughing, because there's a 97-year-old man that said some racist comment to some chick on a bus, and this chick wasn't going to take it and pushed him, but she didn't mean to push him like so hard that he died, but she pushed him so hard that he died. And they kept showing it on the news over and over again. It's kind of like, well, let's see. He made a racist comment. He got pushed off the bus, and then he died. It's sad that he died, but the fact that all he had to do was fall over and that would kill him, because it didn't put him hard. He just fell. It's like you and I. Anybody else would have perfectly. Yeah, Jessica, the super sticker rock star. Hell yeah.
I'm confused.
So yeah, so Joy was like, I mean, when you think about it, it's like, well, shit. I mean, okay, if all it took was to push him to fall over and he would die, and he's 97, it's kind of like what was he doing in Vegas on a bus anyway?
I don't even like him thinking this through. It doesn't feel safe. Don't think about it too hard, Rich.
I mean, he's like 100 years old, so he's
like
coming
you.
from like
like
1920, thinking on a bus full of black people, and he makes a racist comment, and she pushes him, and he falls out of the bus, and he dies.
100.
And that was just, to me, that's a funny way for God to say, hey man, it's your time to go. Yeah, I don't want to go. Well, it's time for you to go. Well, how you want to go? You know what? I want to go out in style. I want everybody to know about it. Okay, cool. Here's an idea. Let's stick you on a bus. I mean, come on. He was going to die like probably later that day, whether she pushed him or not. So that's why it was funny.
Okay.
Obviously, if the kid was 20 years old and he got pushed and he got hit by a bus, that would not be funny. That'd be fucking awful. I mean, or 40 years old or 50 or whatever. This was a different situation. That's why I made that funny.
I don't know.
Anyways, Melissa brought it up because she was like trying to throw shade at that, trying to make us look like bad people. But yeah, we did get a lot of slack from the news for that. In fact, we had to go back.
I didn't say that.
We posted a blog about it online, and people were just like, well, what Joy did was she did the voiceover of what probably was said. Or did I do the voiceover? I can't remember. Anyways, so they had to redo. It was a long story.
Sounds like it.
Poor family, I know.
Sounds
It kind of sucks for them. Their 97-year-old racist grandfather died. I mean,
doesn't Joy
do you
say
think
that
anyone
about
was
her
shocked
grandfather?
when they
One of
found
them.
out, Melissa?
I think she does.
Do you think they were surprised? What's interesting is how he went out. He went out doing what he loves, throwing racist comments. God gave him that one.
Jesus. You're ate up.
Hey man, it's all. Oh, you don't have to send the video. It's posted. You literally send the video. Melissa, it is 2025. This is YouTube. This is not 1995. You don't have to send a video. All you have to do is send the link to my channel where I have it posted. That's how you saw it. I mean, it was like from 10 years ago. I mean, it was like one of the first things we ever did that got us any notoriety was showing Joy laughing at this racist guy getting thrown out of a bus. Hey, man, I was just sitting there. Just so you know, I was sitting there casually observing. Joy was the one laughing. I was not laughing. I'm with Melissa on this one. I was like, Joy, that's because we're doing a...
That's funny. He's talking about him getting pushed off a bus, and a 100-year-old man getting pushed off a bus. Bleh, bleh, bleh. He's talking about a 100-year-old man getting pushed off a bus, and he just takes Joy and chucks her right under there. You know you were in on that too.
Podcast. So it was like back and forth. I was interviewing her because I was wanting to find out why she thought this was so funny. Right. And so I interviewed my wife, and quite honestly, I was like, Joy, this is, I mean, I was on Melissa's side. I was like, this is terrible. And she just said, look, this is why I think it's funny, and this is how I feel, and I don't know what to tell you, but it's just funny to me. And she couldn't stop.
Well,
laughing.
maybe it wasn't very
So-
funny.
And I was
Can you
only
admit
laughing
that?
because she
Maybe
was
some
laughing.
people didn't think it was funny.
Oh, is Rick here? Hey, Rick. If he was a black man, it would be different. The whole thing would have been different. Oh, you mean if I was black and said, yeah, if I was black and was doing this, man, wouldn't this be a different show? Wouldn't this be weird? What a trip, Rick.
It is
Sometimes you
weird.
blow my mind, dude.
It's weird.
Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine if I was black doing this? Wow.
This
That's a
is weird,
trip.
Rich. Don't worry about it.
I guess I'm too old, Rachel. Hey, I'm 89. Baby, I'm old. Rachel, you're 89. Listen,
Listen.
if you don't think death is funny, then how are you laughing about anything? Because you all know, whether you like it or not, you have what's called a death sentence. That means you have a court date coming up. You can pretend you don't have it, but whether you like it, it's like that court date you have about 2 months ago. You can pretend and try not to think about it, but it's coming. And you either fucking come to terms with death, or you're gonna be fucking scared, man, and you're gonna waste your life away. If you don't start having fun today, and if you don't start laughing at death, then you will
So
not
creepy.
have a good life. You will have a scared life. You will go through life from a window. You will watch and observe everybody else.
I was about to say Rich looks so different, and it's just him without his glasses. He looks different. I was like, what's wrong with him? I see it now.
Doing life while you ride on the tour bus to death out the window and just observe. And when you get to death, you'll get out and you'll be with everybody else who lived a life, but you'll be with the people who didn't live life. So either have fun now or forget about it.
Forget about it.
Have a good one, guys. Talk to you later.
Are we done? Ah! Alright. Well, that was my first time trying to watch on camera. And, I don't know how it went. But I hope you could hear me well. I hope all of it looked okay. And I'll do my best to make it make sense. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it goes good, and I'll do more. And give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and yeah, hopefully it worked out. Okay, thank you. Bye. Fantastic.